Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what was your biggest challenge in designing your robot this season?
So when it came to designing our robot, we had a lot of issues, but the biggest one came from like deciding on what like method we're gonna use. Because in this season, there's two primary ways of scoring and shooting. It's sort and non-sort. We originally wanted to go with sort, but we ended up realizing that was too inefficient and too slow. So we decided to switch to directly, like without sorting. We just pick them up, intake them, and shoot them directly. And shoot, like deciding between those two and like creating the different prototypes is like really challenging.
Perfect. Um, my next question is, has your team used like any sensors to detect artifacts and
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time? I think you lagged out a little bit.
Oh, okay. The question was, has your team used any sensors to detect any artifacts?
Yeah, actually, this season we're using distance sensors to measure like the amount of balls in the ramp. So we use this like same type of sensor at three different spots to know if the balls are in the ramp before we start shooting. Actually,
Okay, perfect. And what are like your guys' roles in robotics, like each of you?
so I'm the outreach lead for our team.
Yeah, and I'm on building design.
And I'm part of outreach too.
Perfect. The next question is, can you explain a major problem in your design and how you resolved it?
Okay. So we had a one of the biggest issues we had when it came to our design was basically when we were making our like side plate, attaching our top plate onto it, our turret kept on being really loose and wiggly, and especially when it came to shooting, that was a really big issue because it made it like really inaccurate when we were shooting. And another, like the biggest issue we've had this entire time has to be a dead spot. We had a dead spot in our intake. So what happened was sometimes it's usually like what happened is the limelight would just like stop tracking and we just like, weren't able to properly do certain things.
Hey, perfect. Good answer. The next question. This is like a engineering notebook question. How do you guys document your engineering process?
Oh yeah, so for this we follow like it's called we use the acronym SWOT, so SWOT. So S stands for like our strengths, so we document like what we're good at, what our team is pretty proficient in, and then W, which is stands for our weaknesses. So what are some of the things that we could probably spend more time on or work a little bit more in, and then O stands for opportunity. So what opportunities do we have? So some of the opportunities we've had are like sponsorships and grants and like reaching out to Title I schools as part of our mission. And then lastly, what are some of the threats or some of the things we need to watch out for throughout the season? Because it can be, because it may like work against us. And that's how we've sort of followed the format in the engineering notebook.
Okay, perfect. That's what we do too. Um, the next question is, what are some outreach events that your team has been involved in this year?
Oh yeah, some of the outreach events that we've been a part of. So number one is our like 8-week school program. So what we do is at 5 different elementary schools at 2 different districts. We've been teaching like an 8-week curriculum, and that's been going pretty well. We've expanded to like a few more schools and outside of just FUSD or Fremont Unified School District. Um, on top of that, we've also like helped run like FTC qualifiers and webinars for not just like local teams to join, but also like out of state teams and sometimes even like out of the country teams join for it. Another big project that we've done is the Africa Book Project, where we've helped send over like 2,000 books to Uganda, and last year we did over 3,000 books to Malawi. And yeah, those are the main things we've actually started doing more advocacy this year. Like we've gone to Sacramento to talk a little bit about like STEM in STEM funding STEM funding and policy, and we met with our legislators advocating for that.
Oh wow, that's so cool. Does your team have like any sponsorships, and if so, how do you guys like get sponsorships?
Yeah, so we approach sponsorships as partnerships rather than just a financial support. We clearly explain like our mission, our outreach impact, and how sponsors help us expand the STEM education. We also make sure to have a business plan, communicating updates, and recognizing sponsors in our materials and events. This approach like also helped us build long-term relationships and sustain our programs beyond just one season.
Wow, that's so cool. And this kind of like goes in with the other question, but how does your team help spread the word like STEM in your community?
Yeah, so like what Kerr said, STEM outreach is definitely the core of our team's identity. We really are committed to making STEM accessible and engaging to all our students. So we did host a lot of library demos. We taught robotics to classes at schools, and we formed 13 FLL teams, and we mentored FTC teams internationally. We also created like a nonprofit dedicating to broadening the access to STEM education. And through these in-person demos, social media outreach, webinars, and community events, we reached over thousands of students and families.
Wow, that's so cool. The next question is like a building question, but can you tell me like about your robot and like what you're most proud of in your robot?
So in our robot, when it comes like the most thing I'm most proud of is probably our ramp. We are with our ramp, we can quickly intake and shoot, especially with our like we have like a stick, three sets of intake wheels and a pretty wide ramp, allowing us to intake balls really fast, and then we can send them straight up to our turret, which has our shooter, which is on a turret, has an adjustable hood, and also has a kicker as well, so you can like kick the ball up into it. But I'd say that's the most impressive part because it allows us to shoot fast and accurate from anywhere on the field.
Perfect. And then my last question is it's like a programming question, but what programming concepts has your team used for detecting artifacts during auto?
Yeah, so we use pedropathing to create smooth and consistent autonomous movements. We also used a webcam with OpenCV to detect the artifacts. Um, Rather than just following a fixed routine, we use this, and together this makes our autonomous like more flexible and dependable during competition.
Okay, perfect. That's all the questions. Thank you guys so much for answering these questions. Thank you guys so much for answering all the questions. You guys had like really like good answers.
Yeah, thank you
And
so
like
much for having us. Yeah.
and question, how's like the weather over there? Like how's the snow going and
Oh,
everything?
over here we're in Fremont, so that's like really close to like San Francisco, so there isn't much snow. But the weather has been like on and off a little bit. Like some days it's like really warm, some days it's been like pretty cold. But yeah, thankfully we haven't like run into any snow. Like
Lucky. Wow. We
yeah.
have like 10 inches of snow here,
Oh really?
which is
Wow.
crazy.
That's crazy. That's a lot. Yeah. My
Yeah.
sister like actually like lives in New
But
York
we
too.
have like e-learning for like the next 2 days, which I'm happy about. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay. That's great.
really. Wow. Wow. Well, thanks for joining, and I hope stay warm. And yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you.